收看今天的汉天新闻，我是赵子彤。首先来看美国国内消息。当地时间17日，加州中部城市富雷斯诺的一处家庭聚会上发生大规模枪击案件，造成至少10人中弹，其中4人死亡。当地警方称，枪击案发生在城市东南部晚上8点左右。当时，当地一户人家正和朋友在后院一起观看橄榄球比赛，在场人数多达35人。之后，一名不明身份的枪手偷偷潜入现场，突然开枪。有媒体报道，死者均为亚裔男性。截至目前，枪手依然在逃。
We do have multiple shooting victims.
Police in California briefing the public after a deadly shooting rampage at a residence in Fresno.
There was about 35 people that it looks like that were inside the house and inside the backyard.
The victims gunned down during what should have been an enjoyable family event.
They were at a football party, so this was a family gathering.
The extent of the carnage unfolding even before first responders arrived on scene.
As officers and paramedics were en route, we received more and more information on multiple victims. Officers came in and they saw 3 people that were down immediately. They were all Asian males between 25 and 30, and CPR was started immediately.
No motive yet disclosed, but police giving a disturbing account of just how the rampage apparently unfolded.
The initial information is that somebody came up on foot, possibly at least one suspect, and began firing. They fired into the backyard where most of the people were in this party.
When asked if the shooting was gang-related, authorities said there was no indication of that, but that it was a possibility they would be investigating. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
美国国会针对美国总统川普的弹劾听证会本星期进入第2周，在有关川普总统如何督促乌克兰调查前副总统拜登，并同时暂时扣住基辅渴望的军事援助等问题上，几位关键的证人将前往作证。上周，美国众议院情报委员会已经宣布，本周的听证会中至少会有8名新证人出庭作证。专家认为，这意味着民主党人希望在年底前完成对总统川普的弹劾程序。
8 key witnesses are set to testify publicly in the impeachment inquiry this week, including Ambassador to the EU Gordon Sondland, who is emerging as the most pivotal witness in the proceedings.
The member of my staff could hear President Trump on the phone asking Ambassador Sondland about the investigations. Ambassador Sondland told President Trump the Ukrainians were ready to move forward.
In his closed-door depositions, former National Security official Tim Morrison, who is slated to testify tomorrow, said he knew of at least 5 direct conversations between Sondland and Trump, adding that Sondland was acting at Trump's direction. Morrison said Sondland told him that he informed a Ukrainian official that nearly $400 million in military aid for Ukraine could be freed up if, quote, the prosecutor general would go to the mic and announce that he was opening the Burisma investigation.
What we're talking about here is that the President of the United States used taxpayer-funded military assistance to pressure a foreign leader to help him in his re-election campaign. That is solicitation of a bribe.
The Wall Street Journal reporting this morning on emails that show Sondland kept several Trump administration officials apprised of his effort, including acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and Energy Secretary Rick Perry.
And as I've said from the beginning, I think this is not okay. The President of the United States shouldn't, even in the original phone call, be on the phone with the president of another country and raise his political opponent. But if you look at Sondland's testimony, which is also public, he says that the direction that he received from the President of the United States was no quid pro quo.
President Trump again lashing out at another witness in a tweet. In a transcript released this weekend, Jennifer Williams, a State Department employee detailed to the Vice President's office who listened to the July 25th phone call between President Trump and the Ukrainian president. She told impeachment investigators President Trump's request for specific investigations struck her as, quote, unusual and inappropriate. Vice President Mike Pence's office is making a concerted effort to distance itself from Williams, who is slated to testify tomorrow, releasing a statement emphasizing, quote, Jennifer is a State Department employee.
在美国政坛正如火如荼进行的针对总统川普的弹劾，同样是俄罗斯政坛关注的核心。 民主党与共和党人针对川普与普京的关系问题一直存在尖锐矛盾。在上周的作证中，前美国驻乌克兰特使的助手还表示，因为担心会惹恼俄罗斯，特朗普曾下令取消了美国海军在黑海的一次例行巡逻。尽管如此，日前克林姆林宫方面表示，目前针对川普的弹劾与俄罗斯政府无关，他们也不会发表官方评论。
The Kremlin is feasting on the impeachment inquiry in the U.S. State-run media clearly taking President Trump's side, even echoing talking points used by Republicans during the first hearing, trying to discredit testimony from America's top diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor.
You didn't listen on President Trump's call and President Zelensky's call?
I did not.
You've never talked with Chief of Staff Mulvaney?
I never did.
You never met the president?
That's correct.
And one of the main witnesses in this case turned out to be almost a stool pigeon. It came to light that all his information is third-hand. He never met Trump and spoke to Zelensky about everything except the main thing for everyone, the military aid.
Ignoring other damning evidence Taylor laid out, the Russians rejoicing, believing President Trump has shown he cares about investigations into political rivals, but not Ukraine itself.
You're being used without even asking for any permission. You know what the term for that is. All those important people in America are now talking what strange people you are and how you can be used.
But Russian state media's support for President Trump goes even further. One news report even attempting to reveal the identity of the whistleblower whose complaint brought the controversy around the Trump-Zelensky call to light. Even as the president continues to claim there was nothing wrong with the call.
The whistleblower gave a lot of very incorrect information, including my call with the president of Ukraine, which was a perfect call.
The cozy relations with President Trump are paying off for Vladimir Putin. Perceived lack of support from the U.S. president has weakened Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky as his country continues to face a Russian-backed insurgency. Zelensky was recently all but forced to agree to a Russian-approved negotiating formula and ask for talks with Moscow, leading to protests against him in Kiev. And Zelensky was challenged by veterans on the front line who felt he was bowing to the Russians after losing America's support.
I'm the president of this country. I'm 41 years old. I'm not a loser.
As Ukraine's president struggles to navigate the fallout of President Trump's Ukraine moves, Kremlin-controlled media is in a feeding frenzy, hungrily awaiting the next impeachment hearings. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Moscow.
周日，在马萨诸塞州的沃切斯特，上百人参加了周三因为执行任务牺牲的英勇消防员杰森·梅纳德的葬礼。当地时间周三，当地一处小区突发火灾，为营救2名受困的民众，消防员梅纳德不幸逝世。相关负责人在葬礼上发言，表彰了这名消防员的英勇事迹。而参与葬礼的民众也说，因为社区有这样勇敢而善良的保护者，感到感激和感动。
A fallen firefighter honored by his community.
Today begins 2 days of remembrance as we continue to mourn the loss of Lieutenant Jason Menard.
Killed in the line of duty and now hailed a hero, Lieutenant Jason Menard sacrificed his life to save his fellow firefighters.
Lieutenant Menard heroically and selflessly saved his crew.
Menard, a member of the Worcester Fire Department since 2010, was with his crew on the top floor of a 3-story building when the fire grew too dangerous. Officials said he led a probationary firefighter to the stairs before returning to help firefighter Christopher Pace escape through a 3rd-floor window. Lieutenant Menard was left surrounded by flames, unable to escape.
Without him, Chris would not be here. He would not be here with the son. He would not be here with my sister, who is expecting her second. So it's hard.
Officials said Pace remains hospitalized but in good spirits.
His condition is stable. He does have a long road to recovery.
Family and friends will gather for Menard's funeral and burial on Monday. Firefighters from around Massachusetts will lead a procession through Worcester in his honor. I'm David Daniel reporting.
休息一下，马上回来。